from Simply Said with Karen, and welcome to Tuesday's Tips and Techniques. Today I have for you some information on how to organize your stamps and your die cuts or your framelits. Sometimes we get stamps in two containers, and it's always rather difficult to keep track of them. One's always somewhere else, and when you want to use a stamp from one box or from another box, then you're having to constantly look for them. So what I've done is I've taken all the stamps and I've put them in one container so that the stamps from the ornament keepsakes are all together in one place. Then for the die cuts or the framelits, I've taken and mounted them on a piece of magnetic strips that I've covered with designer paper, and in this case I just used some discontinued designer paper and attached them to the other side. So now I have my stamps and my framelits all in one place. The other thing I've done is oftentimes we have trouble getting our stamps to stick to the clear blocks. And I know that leads to a great deal of frustration as you go to stamp an image and your stamp falls off the block and you have to start all over again. So this is what I've done. I've taken the labels that you get with the instructions to mount them to your stamps. But instead of doing that, I have mounted them to the back of the case with the stamps. So you can see here I have all the labels mounted on the back of the box. So now I have just the foam to use on my clear blocks. And then the other thing is too, it really helps to show you if there happens to be a stamp missing, and they just cling very nicely to the acrylic case. So, but to help you guide with a guide, because now you have no label on the back of your stamp, what you do is I've taken my clear blocks and I have used the Clear Mount Perfectly Placed guides, and the number is 121785, and there's a number of clear guides on here that you can attach directly to your clear blocks. As you can see, I've used actually quite a few of them. There's some there that you can cut and measure and for your own information, but there's others that will actually fit to your blocks. For example, this one here, and it's the E block. The sticky guide sticks to the clear block and it's there and it's permanent. Some of them I've had on there for probably close to a year, ever since they came out. So how do you set up your stamps on your blocks if you don't have a label on the back? Well, what I do is I try to take my grid paper and I set it up so that the top of the stamp aligns with that horizontal line, and then the edge of the stamp lines up with the perpendicular side guide. So then I take my clear block and I line it up so that I can see that the vertical line in the guide is exactly in the center of the stamp, and then for your horizontal lines you can just line them up, the guides up with your grid paper. So just there, and then you place your clear mount or clear block on your stamp and your stamp won't be going anywhere. So I just want to show you then how to line it up with your paper. So I've just taken a piece of clear Whisper White paper, cherry cobbler ink, and this is a new stamp pad, and I'll show you how I've been using these because it really helps with controlling the amount of ink that you get on your stamp. So I place my stamp, which is now on the clear block, face up so I can see the stamp image, and I just tap the ink onto the stamp. So now I have my piece of paper, and I've just lined it up with the grid paper again so that I can position my stamp exactly where I want it. So to get it centered, I tend to eyeball rather than measure. So, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line it up as close as I can to the center of this Whisper White cardstock and then just stamp. And I have a perfect image. And now I can use that on a card, or I can use it with the framelit and cut it out to do with what I want. So that's my first tip, and I hope you'll give it a try because I am having success with it. We'll be back next week with some more tips and techniques. Thank you. Bye.